Hello everyone, let's talk about the stock market. We have Tesla reporting its earning on Wednesday, October the 22nd, and stock market is very enthusiastic about it, and lots of the stock market analysts are very bullish. So the market is expecting for Tesla to at least uh, report $26.27 billion in revenue and $0.53 in adjusted earning per share, EPS, earning per share. And they also want to hear about China sales and cheaper new Model Y that Elon Musk has introduced. Of course, Elon Musk has already spoken about it, but they just want to hear more in detail from Elon Musk, and they're also expecting to hear from him about the progress in robotaxi, FSD, etc. As he mentioned in his previous interviews, that robotaxi and FSD is going to be across the United States, or at least half the country. He also talked about his autonomous robots because at this point we all know that market doesn't take Tesla as a car company. Rather, they know that it's a full size AI company as well. And Elon Musk has promoted its autonomous robots, and he said autonomous robots are going to be widely introduced by the end of the year, and then in early 2026 the production is going to be heavily starting, so it can be available for sale across the US. Of course, with the China tariff and everything, the production couldn't start, and Elon Musk couldn't keep up with his promises because there was the supply chain issues, and then he was involved with the government, and of course there was lots of backlash on his participation in the government and White House and on his policies. Recently, he has been approved a very large pay package, which we are going to hear about if shareholders have approved his package or not. But there could be overwritten, and there could still be offered to him even if shareholders don't approve it at this point. So, having said that, of course, everybody is looking forward to it. Wedbush analyst Dan Ives breaks down three of the main tech stocks going into end of the year 2025, saying that these three stocks have very good chance of growing much higher. Number one is Apple. Of course, we all know Apple has been doing great in the recent past few quarters. We did see that Apple was not doing much with the AI, and every other company was incorporating AI into their business models. But recently, we have noticed that Apple has also introduced AI, and they're trying to improve their products by incorporating AI into their business and their products as well. So Dan I think that once they're fully AI pro AI in the future, they can they're adding at least $100, $75 to $100 into the price going into next 12 to 18 months. I think that's what he said, but just double check me. I know it's a long-term goal, more than a year goal. Next stock he talks about is obviously Tesla, and the reason being is that he said he's obviously very enthusiastic about the robotaxi and FSDs. It's $1.4 trillion company right now. But if they start producing their autonomous robots and their robotaxis and FSD, it could be $2 trillion bull case, but at least $3 trillion at the max capacity once they start producing. Lots of analysts are of the opinion that Tesla is way behind Waymo, which it is, at least a year behind from Waymo. However, Tesla could be a very big threat to his competitors because and the reason why they think it's behind, because it still needs a driver sitting in the car just in case something goes wrong. However, there's a silver lining for Tesla investors, and that is once Tesla FSD robotaxi is fully functional. Then Tesla has a capacity to produce their robotaxi and FSDs in a large quantity into their Austin, Texas facilities and some of the other gigafactories that they have. And this mass production could take over Waymo, which is obviously Waymo does not have the capacity to produce their cars at such a level, at such large numbers. So therefore, Tesla is going to beat their competitors and other competitors besides Waymo as well. Number three, they talk about Salesforce, CRM company. This is also a cloud service company, and Dan Ives is very bullish on this company, and he thinks that this company has growth potential going into 2026. And I forgot what the price target he gave for for this particular company because I'm not invested into it, so I didn't really read deep into this. But these three companies are very bullish, as per Dan Ives, and we all know he's very well respected. And people, when he talks, people actually listen to him. Now, I want to talk about what my expectations are from Tesla going into earnings. I'm still holding my Tesla because there's so much going on around Tesla right now, so much hype momentum. On the 22nd, there's going to be earnings. Whether it's going to be good or bad, of course, that's a story that we have to wait for. Of course, market is expecting pretty large number. However, if it doesn't report very good Q3 earnings, I think Tesla is still not. There's of course going to be a pullback because there's always buy the rumor, sell the news. But then there's always retailers and large institutions who are waiting on the sideline to buy every dip that comes up in the stock market, not only just Tesla, but in every stock which has a growth potential going into next year or in the fourth quarter. So, in my opinion, I think there will be sell the news event unless Elon Musk makes an announcement about some progress in robotaxi, which is going to be coming up and how far they've gone. And if investors like what he says in the event, then of course Tesla stock is going to run. My expectation is it could go up to $470 and there will be a pullback. Dan Ives have given the price target for Tesla $600 going into 2026, into next 6 to 9 months, he said. And he said the story has already begun, which means those 6 to 9 months have already started. So that's the highest price target on Tesla, which is $600. The lowest price target is $325, I believe. So there are 15 buy ratings, 13 hold, and about 9 sell ratings on Tesla. But overall, it's a strong, it's like a medium buy, but of course strong hold as well. So Tesla overall has very good rating, and the highest price target is $600. What's the price target for me? I was obviously waiting for $450 towards the end of the year, but we have already accomplished that. And now my price target is at least $500 towards the end of the year. Once we achieve this, I might sell some unless Elon Musk announces some other going forward events that might take place towards the year end. Then of course I'm going to hold it. We all know that towards the last quarter of the year is usually pretty bullish. However, for the past 2 years, it has not been very bullish, and market has been pretty much red during Christmas season when there's supposed to be a Christmas rally. But maybe this time it's different. Who knows? Now let's talk about a little bit. I want to also mention something about 60-40 rule in investing. We all know, or at least some of us know, that there was some analysts who were of the opinion that there should be 60% invested into the stock market, 40% into the bond market. And the reason being was because if usually, historically, if the stocks go up, yields go down, or if the stocks go down, yields go up. But recently we have seen that when Jerome Powell had talked about cutting rates, stock market went up, yields went up. When they start lowering rates, stock market goes down, yield goes down. So that kind of defeats the purpose of having diversity in the stock, because if one goes down, the other should go up, so you can offset. I mean, it still doesn't offset the balance because, of course, market stock go higher at a much faster pace, but bonds, we have limited growth in bonds. There's a certain percentage, and that's interest-based business. So if you're a Muslim investor, of course, it's a prohibited business for us anyway. But those of you who do invest into the bonds, I think at this point investing into bonds is useless. And why I say this? Because Fed is lowering the rate. The inflation is 5.25%, I guess, annually. That's going up, but the interest rate is going to be barely 4.25%. So you're still losing money compared to when you compare it with the inflation. So what's my opinion where we should invest? I think we should invest into the stock market, and we should also invest into gold, or maybe Bitcoin, or maybe real estate, because those are the businesses that will flourish better than the bonds, because now the yields are going down and bonds are not going to pay as much interest as you usually would get. Also, stock market is doing pretty well. I think it's going to be bullish for the next couple of years while Republicans are in the government, in the White House. So usually that's what the trend has been. Um, of course, Trump's tariff nonsense is not helping, but we all know that when Trump starts a tariff fight or a trade war with the country, the second he realizes that, okay, it's affecting the economy, the interest rates, the stock market, suddenly he chickens out. He did this again last week when he was talking to China, raising their tariff on China, because he said our farmers are suffering and we will not allow China to let our farmers suffer. And he said China cannot function without our help, all that good stuff. But we all know US is not ready to back off from China, because we import so many of our products that are being manufactured in China, and they're used here into multiple sectors of industrial sectors and of the economy. So we cannot have this kind of rigid war with China to begin with. Of course, Donald Trump probably doesn't realize that, or if he does realize it, he thinks maybe China doesn't know, but he doesn't understand that China is smart. They know how much control they have over your economy. It's going to take you 5 to 7 years to build infrastructure, to start production in your own country. So you have to rely and depend on China. And then as soon as he realized that, once he started this new nonsense with China again, of course, it collapsed the market. It was not pretty. It was pretty ugly. It was bad bloodbath everywhere, and people didn't like it. So he suddenly chickened out, and then he was obviously talking at softer turns and tone, and he said, well, Xi Jinping is my friend and I like him and all the good stuff. So we all know that it's going to be nothing burger again. But of course, when the news come up, it does affect the market. It does concern the investors, and those people, they have large amount of money invested into the market, so they pull their money out very quickly because they don't want to lose all the gains that they have earned in the past quarter, month, or year. So they just want to lock that in and then maybe buy back again once things settle down. But in my opinion, everything is going to be smooth. There isn't much bearish catalyst going into next month in November. Yes, we do have CPI report coming up, and we have FOMC meeting on October 29th. But who cares? We already know that we're expecting a rate cut in the next FOMC meeting, which is going to take place towards the end of the year. And 25 basis points is the minimum that they're going to cut. They could do more, but at this point, at least market is already pricing in a high probability of rate cut on October the 29th. So up until November 1st, 2nd, I think next week and a half is going to be pretty bullish in the market, unless some big catalyst pops up, some geopolitical situation occurs, or something regarding tariff that Trump could announce. Of course, those things are going to affect. As far as Tesla's earnings are concerned, I think everybody is kind of pricing in some volatility in the price, because they know that they didn't have very good quarter. Well, actually, they did have very good quarter this quarter because of the deliveries, since $7,500 tax credit was ending. So lots of people have booked so many cars. Particularly sales in China went up significantly, and sales in the US went up significantly. But I think still market is not it still thinks that if there is a small difference in the expectations versus what they actually announced, that's kind of already priced in at this point. Investors and market is looking ahead into next 6 to 9 months and hope what's going to happen with Tesla. And at this point, they are pricing in full self-driving or robotaxis and humanoid robots, etc. to see, and they want to hear something from Elon Musk in this earning call and reiterate like what he's planning on, where the progress has been, how far along they've gone, and when they would expect the robotaxi to be up and running at full capacity. That's what investors are looking for. And if Elon Musk says positive, bullish stuff on that, that is going to be obviously very good for Tesla. We all know that Jerome Powell has been pretty dovish as far as the rates are concerned, and we all know the market is pricing in the rate cut, so that's also a bullish catalyst for the market. And then, of course, we know the FOMC meeting, everybody's pricing in at least 125 basis point rate cuts. It could be higher, we don't know, but 25 is the minimum. So that's also bullish for the markets. And then when we enter into the next month, we'll see where it goes. So that was my update. Please subscribe to my channel. I hope this helped. Please let me know if I can improve it. Anyhow, I know I can improve because I suck at making videos. I read a lot and I understand a lot, but when I sit here and record, it just feels like maybe I'm missing something, and I am missing something. Once I'm done recording, I realize that okay, I have not spoken about this and this particular topic, but oh, okay, that's just on me. I know I can improve, but still your feedback will be very important to me, and it'll really be appreciated. Give your comments in the comment section below. Please be careful, stay safe, invest wisely. Whatever I say in this video is not a personalized financial advice. That's just a disclaimer. I'm just a YouTuber. Please do your own due diligence and use your own judgment depending on your own personal situation. Until next one, take care and goodbye.